everybody. So this week I did a video on flipping the question with your clients, how to do this on a professional basis, and how much you needed to involve the client in doing this. I got a very good comment from Dee on my YouTube channel, and she said, I'll just read it. It says, if the client is shuffling through and has a specific question, won't that influence the energy and direction of the cards? So I think what she's implying here is that if the client asks one thing, like, will I get fired? And the reader asks something different, like, will they be able to stay on this job for the sake of getting a clear answer, a yes or no answer, then she's concerned that what the client is asking, won't that influence the actual direction of the cards? So it's basically, when you're a reader, typically the reader does all the shuffling, and I've always said one of the most important parts of readings is the ability for the reader to concentrate and to instill the question into the cards. So while you're shuffling those cards, you have to clear out your mind of all your personal stuff. Because what will happen is, and readers can attest to this, that if you have stuff on your mind, if you're overwhelmed with your own stuff and you put the cards down, you're going to be reading, you see your own life. You're going to be seeing your stuff in the cards. And this is not uncommon if you're going through something traumatic or something dramatic or something that is really impacting the way you think or concentrate. So what will happen is, if you as a reader are concentrating inappropriately on the wrong thing, the cards will come up and reflect the things that that reader needs to know about themselves, not about the client. So that moment of concentration when you're shuffling the cards is really important. So when you're flipping the question and asking it so that you can get a clear channel of yes or no, understand the language of the cards from your deck, yes or no, and you're changing, will they get fired or will we break up, to a phrase that's clearer for yes or no, such as, will I be able to stay on the job, or will we stay together? That's part of the concentration process to make sure you're instilling the correct question and energy into the cards. So it's really important for the reader to do this. I would think if you allowed the client to shuffle the cards, then it becomes important for you two to do it together so that the energy is similar of what you're asking. Then you probably may have to say, the better way to word this is this, only because I can understand the cards more clearly for yes or no. Then you can do it. But typically, if you, the reader, are just accepting the question from the client, you are turning the client in, you're turning the question in your head so that you can understand the cards better. You don't need to involve the client in that. You just take their question, will we break up? Ask in your head, are they going to be able to stay together? And the cards will tell you if they're going to break up. And you can just say to them, yeah, it says here there's a clear split. Or it says here it looks like it's going to last for a little while. Or it looks here like this is a longer term relationship. So this is something you're going through that is not going to affect the longevity of the relationship. The information is all still there. You can still give them all the information they need. So, and just one quick note, if you're the type of reader that likes to involve your client in touching the cards, one thing I often do in my readings when I'm with a client is I will shuffle the card. I will present the question in a way that I know that I can understand the answer. I'll shuffle them. When I put the stack down, I will have the client cut the stack in half. So if I'm doing something like a double line of 3 or a double line of 5, I'll know one stack is for the top row, the other stack will indicate the row for the houses, so they have a touch and an involvement. Their energy is now infused into the reading, but that way it won't affect the actual question itself in terms of how it answers in a yes or no. It will, their energy is involved, but your concentration into how those cards need to be put down so that you can understand them clearly is also involved. So it's like the best of both worlds. I always like the clients to touch the cards if they can, and that's always like a great way of involving them. And you get the 2 rows there, so the reader gets 1 row, the client gets the other, and both together create a really nice symbiotic relationship and gives you a clear reading. That might help you out as well. Dee, I love your question. I think it's an appropriate and wonderful question. Those are the things we want to make sure is that we're asking properly. I invite you to try this with your clients. Try it with friends first if you want to practice to make sure that your energy is going into those cards properly. And always remember, when you're giving readings, that shuffling process is important for the sake of concentration, clearing your mind, instilling a clear intent into the card, and allowing the cards to speak more clearly because you're asking the question appropriately. This makes you a better professional reader. Good luck to you all.